Halloween Horror Nights is in full swing, baby. And if there's anything to know about this season is that the crowds are no joke, especially on the weekends. And if you're coming to the event without an express pass or a strategy, those waits can feel like a lifetime.
This brings us to the number one question we keep hearing, and that is, how the hell do I do HHN without an express pass? Well, we're about to find out.
That Wicked Thrill Seeker?
Oh my God! For weeks, we have been giving you all sorts of tips on how to save time and money at this event. And today, we are putting our money where our mouth is on a Saturday, the busiest night of the week. We're taking you along and showing you just how we tackle HHN without an express pass. We're calling it Operation No Express.
We have two main things we want to focus on to call this operation a success. Number one, can we tackle all 10 houses, get them done without an express pass? And number two, can we still have fun with these huge crowds and without an express pass? Buckle up and let's find out.
Now, there is no way around it. If you are coming to HHN without an express pass and you want to maximize the absolute most out of your night, you're going to want to start in Stay and Scream. Now, it is hot, it is muggy, it is pure Florida afternoon weather where it might rain, but Stay and Scream is the number one way to get the best bang out of your buck because you have early entrance into the park that allows you to start queuing up into your favorite houses before the HHN gates even open. And if you don't have an express pass, this is an absolute game changer because houses start opening as early as 5:15 in Stay and Scream, meaning that you're starting to knock back houses before a regular HHN guest even steps foot into the park.
Now, how exactly do you get into Stay and Scream? Well, the simplest way to describe it is you already have to be at the park before HHN even starts. And you can do that in one of three ways. Number one, you're either an annual pass holder. Number two, you already have a day ticket purchased. Or number three, you can add on for an additional $55 cost a Scream early ticket. Now remember, you have to have both items because HHN is a separate ticketed event. So if you're missing one, they will not let you into the park once those gates close at 5 o'clock. All right, let's talk game plan. Main thing we want to do is to knock out our priority houses because without an express pass, there is no guarantee. You can have the best strategy in the world, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to knock out all 10 houses in one night.
Absolutely not. And if you've watched our last video, you'll know that they're doing things a little bit differently this year for Stay and Scream. There's only two main Stay and Scream locations that will let you out into houses. You have the World Expo section on the other side of the park and enters through Lombards, and that's going to let you out to Goblin's Feast and Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. If you want to check out the Death Eaters, you can go in that section as well. However, in the New York section, it will let you out to Ghostbusters, A Quiet Place, Insidious, and Major Suites. Now, typically, we would avoid the New York Stay and Scream section at all costs.
Right, because right now, if you look around, it is crowded.
It's packed in here and it's hot and I just want to run away from this. But New York tends to have some of the most popular houses in Stay and Scream, and if you're coming to HHN without an express pass, you want to knock out those most popular houses number one right off the bat before they start racking up to those 100+ minute waits and during peak hours.
Yeah, because that's when it gets really bad. We don't want that for you.
Let's go get in line and start hitting up house numero uno.
Let's do it.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is really, really, really hot. I know Stay and Scream is worth it. However, this is literal torture. If you are coming to Stay and Scream, it is still really hot in Florida. Make sure you have an umbrella, make sure you have a fan, vitamin water, anything that you can because it's hot. It is miserable. All right, so it looks like the line is starting to move finally after a treacherous, what felt like an eternity, like 35 minutes in line for Stay and Scream. Now, the first house that we're gonna go into is A Quiet Place. The reason for that is because A Quiet Place held the highest average wait time throughout opening weekend with an average of 78 minutes. Once we knock this house out, we're gonna continue moving onward with the most popular houses, and we will start the timer when the house actually opens at 5:30 to see how long it takes us to go into the house.
Now, something else you might be wondering is why the hell are you starting at A Quiet Place when Ghostbusters and Insidious open up before this one at 5:15? It's because everybody's finishing those houses first and they're all gonna come over here and shoot up this wait time even longer. The queue already opened up and we're at a 65-minute wait. So everybody makes their way over here. It's gonna shoot up to 70 minutes or more. The other houses are gonna empty out and we're gonna run straight to Insidious, baby. that's how you get it done.
Music is starting at the front of the park. It is officially 5:30. That means that A Quiet Place should be opening anytime soon, meaning that it is officially time to start our timers and see how long it actually takes us to get to the front of the house. All right.
Woo! One house done.
One house done. It was
total,
18 minutes and 37 seconds
not bad
while
for
we waited in Stay and Scream. Not bad.
For a
not
65-minute opening queue, that's not bad at all.
Absolutely. Now this house, I don't know if it's that they dimmed the lights or maybe our eyes just took some time to get adjusted, but it felt so dark.
Right, so a little quick tip is to make sure, if you can, bring some sunglasses, because the difference between the lighting, like your eyes have a hard time adjusting.
Yeah, especially if you're going to do this house as one of the first ones in Stay and Scream.
Now your initial thought might be to hit up Ghostbusters next because it is right next to the Quiet Place, but we're actually going to skip that and go straight into Insidious because we saw Insidious hit number 2 with the second highest average wait time during opening weekend with a 74-minute wait. So if we knock out Insidious and Quiet Place right off the bat with Stay and Scream, we'll have one hell of a good start to HHN tonight.
Now, like Kwok mentioned earlier, Insidious actually opened up first before Quiet Place while we were in Stay and Scream. However, that meant that everybody that was in that queue was going to go straight into A Quiet Place and Ghostbusters after they did Insidious, which means that the queue line has gone down, and it truly has. Insidious opened with a 90-minute wait. It is now down to 60 minutes, and honestly, probably the lowest we'll see throughout the entire night. So let's get this done and move on to the next.
Now, if you know anything about Insidious, this house is badass. The set design, the costumes, the jump scares, everybody's loving it and word is spreading. And because of that, everybody is putting this as one of their most highly anticipated of the event. So the smart thing to do is to try to knock this out as quick as you can during Stay and Scream. Not only will you avoid all of the crazy lines during peak hours, but you'll get the fresh scares because the scare actors are going to be on their A game and ready to scare the hell out of you.
All right, 2 houses in, Walk. Gates are actually about to open. It is 6:30.
6:30
So on the dot, we've gotten
2 houses down.
Yes.
And the biggest priority houses.
2 most popular houses of the entire season already fully knocked out. And Insidious was a 60-minute wait when we came in. It turned out to be about a 17-minute wait. So that's a win-win-win.
That's a good deal, folks. We just exited Insidious, and if you look at the map, you can see Triplets of Terror and Ghostbusters are both in the middle right next to Insidious. Typically, since Triplets is technically a little closer, I feel like most people are going to start going that way. But since Ghostbusters has been the 3rd highest in average wait times during opening weekend, we're going to knock that out next because who knows how long those peak times are going to be later on tonight.
And because the park just opened and everybody's probably prioritizing A Quiet Place and Insidious, Ghostbusters at a 60-minute wait.
Timers are set for Ghostbusters, and we are power walking through this queue right now.
Ghostbusters was actually the 3rd highest wait time throughout opening weekend with an average of 70 minutes, holding steady throughout the weekend. So during Stay and Scream, we just knocked out the 3 most popular houses. Well, we're about to knock out the 3 most popular houses, and this is just, the park is just opening. So if you're questioning whether Stay and Scream is worth it, like I was, turns out it is if you don't have an express pass. Ghostbusters, that was about a near even wait to what it...
Yeah, to the queue.
It was a 51-minute and 42-second wait. The wait time was 60 minutes.
So we were right there.
Yeah,
it was I mean, the good news is the sun is starting to go down a little bit, but it was hot. And it felt like it was forever. Regardless
of any of that, Ghostbusters was the 3rd top most anticipated house for this event. That is a huge win for someone coming to the park that does not have an express pass.
Right. Now especially on Saturday.
Especially on a Saturday. 7:38 at night. We've gotten 3 houses in. We have 7 to go, but we're pretty much nearing peak hours. I'm not exactly sure how many houses we're still going to be able to do before hitting full peak hours. Once Ghostbusters lets you out, we are once again right back in the middle of kind of like the New York zone. So we are dead even between Monstros and Triplets of Terror. Now, typically, I would say a rookie move is to go into Monstros because it is the first left once you enter the park. However, Triplets of Terror is actually right next to Insidious, which means that a lot of people coming out of Insidious, one of the most popular houses of the night, will go straight into Triplets of Terror. So what we're going to do is we're going to be responsible. We're going to take a look at the wait times, and we're going to see which one we can knock out before we fully hit peak hours.
Monstros was at 40 minutes, and Triplets of Terror just dropped to 35 minutes. So we're actually gonna prioritize this. So we'll tackle the front of the park later. This is our 4th house of the night. It's 7:53. And I'll say we're in a pretty good spot right now. We could probably get all 10 houses done, but we'll see. Stay tuned for that.
All right, Triplets of Terror, the final time was, Hwak, how long was the final time?
18 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's not bad for what we are now starting to hit, which is peak hours. However, we're going into our 5th house of the night, which is Monstros of Latin America.
All right, folks, it is 8:26, 45-minute wait. We're about to set our timers. Let me pull out my phone real quick, and we're in Lake Flynn, baby. Let's go. Let's see how long it takes.
This is the longest wait line that we have seen Monstros at without Express Pass that we've been in, and we've been in this queue quite a few times. It is definitely a very packed night. Now we are about 30 minutes out from full peak hours where we're just gonna straight up take a halt and wait until power hour to knock out the rest of the houses. But this will be our 5th house of the night, knocking out everything on one section of the park. So I'm gonna say Stay and Scream is definitely a success if you are coming on a busy night without an Express Pass. All right, it is 9:45. Those wait times right now are not cute. We are in full peak hours at this moment in time. The park is pretty much packed. Everyone is in those lines. We are seeing wait times in the 70s, the 75s. Insidious is at 150 minutes right now. So if you want to go into one of these houses and wait 150 minutes, baby boo, that is on you. But we're going to take a break right now. We're going to enjoy the scare zones. We're going to get some food, maybe watch a show, and really wait until power hour to really pick back up on those houses. Now, right now we are walking through Torture Fair, and during this time is actually a perfect opportunity to really soak in the vibes of these scare zones in the park, because if you're going with an Express Pass, you're trying to knock everything out as quickly as possible. This actually gives you that opportunity to really feel the vibes and understand the show that is being put on by Universal in each of these scare zones. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh my gosh, you should be going into houses. What are you doing? You don't have an Express Pass. Look, we are so confident in our strategy of power hour that we are literally going to wait until 12:30 at night to start back at those houses and knock out the rest of the houses.
Now, the only way we're gonna throw our strategy completely out the window and start doing houses out of nowhere is if we see any of these wait times drop to 25 minutes. And how are we gonna find that out? By looking at the Universal app and setting wait time alerts. I mean, honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen now because it is beginning to pour. So maybe some of these wait times are about to start dropping, but we'll stick around and see what happens. We were just hanging out with the Death Eaters, and we got a notification that Goblin's Feast has dropped down to 25 minutes. Hopefully when we get out of that house, Monsters Eternal Bloodlines maybe also drops a little bit, and we can jump in that too, knock out 2 houses. Let's see what happens.
Now, the reality of HHN in the middle of September is the fact that it is going to rain. It has been raining every single day this week. Today is no exception. It is hot. It is muggy. We feel disgusting.
Yes, we do.
But the bright side is that the rain does drive away some people. So we do have a 25-minute wait before actually hitting power hour. Is it a win? I don't know. I feel really, really gross right now. But I guess once we tally everything up at the end of the night, we'll see if it's an actual win. All right, we just got out of Goblins, and it was a total of roughly 28 minutes.
Right.
It was
the queue had said 25 minutes, so I would say that that matches pretty well.
pretty accurate to time. Thank you, Universal app, for giving us that wait time alert before power hour actually hit with a house going under 25 minutes, because we just knocked out house number
6.
6? House number 6?
We are getting shit done tonight. Make sure that you take advantage of that app. Not only carries the wait times, it has the map, it has a whole bunch of things that you can use on it, but the wait time alerts are a lifesaver.
They really are, especially if you don't have an Express Pass and there's a specific house that you really want to make sure that you get in during your night at HHN. Just make sure you set that wait time alert and wait for the alert to go off, and then power walk your bottom to that house.
That's right. You've heard us all video long talk about power hour, but we haven't really explained it. If you've seen our previous videos, you know what we're talking about. But power hour is basically from the hours of 12:30 to closing park time. those crowds, even on Saturdays, start to die down. And that means the wait times also start to go down. So that means you can take that opportunity to knock out as many houses as you can in one go. And that's why we're so confident in this strategy. It's about 12:22 right now, and we are hoping to get the last 4 houses done. And what better way to kick off Power Hour in this side of the park, World Expo.
Now, one of the reasons why so many folks have a really difficult time making it to and through Power Hour is because they have spent the majority of peak hours in those 90+ minute wait lines. However, if you've been enjoying the park and enjoying the vibes, then baby, your legs are rested, you're ready to go, you're ready to kick back those houses. We are literally about to start with house number 7 in Museum Deadly Exhibits. We are officially in Power Hour 12:25. It is the final countdown till the end of the night. Let's go.
Now let's set our timers. Ready? Let's see how long this takes.
Now, one of the reasons that we are actually starting in Museum of Deadly Exhibits is because this line actually exits out right next to an ultra fan favorite, which is Slaughter Cinema. So we're gonna go kind of like in a counterclockwise rotation. We've got Museum Deadly Exhibits, we'll hit Slaughter Cinema, we'll go back for Bloodlines, and hopefully finish out the night with Major Suites. What do you think, Quack? That's a good one? You think we got this? Woo, let's do this. In and out of Museum of Deadly Exhibits, and the wait was a total of 25 minutes. It ended up being 9 minutes. Power Hour, baby.
Now, the beautiful thing about this area is that Slaughter Cinema is right next to Deadly Exhibits. It is at a 35-minute wait. You are seeing the beautiful, beautiful thing about Power Hour right now. We're about to head in, and I think we'll probably be out of this house in like 15 minutes. We are getting things done, and this line is looking pretty short. So I'm really excited that we might actually knock out all 10 houses tonight. Woo!
So as you can see, Power Hour in full effect. We have A Quiet Place at 35, Ghostbusters at 45, Goblin's Feast at 10, Insidious still at 60, but we got Major Suites at 15, Monstros at 15, Slaughter 25, Museum 15, 25 for triplets, and 20 for Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. So it seems like the strategy that we started with at the top of the night, getting our IP most important priority houses in with Stay and Scream, had a brain fart, it's late, worked out because even though it is Power Hour, Insidious is still at 60 minutes. However, the rest of those houses are dropping quickly and dropping dramatically.
The standby house wait was at 25 minutes, and right now we're about to enter at 6 minutes. 12:58, we've got 2 houses to go. We are making our way right now to Monsters Eternal Bloodlines.
Straight down.
And then we've got Major Suites.
Major Suites right after that, and then we're done. Can we actually crack the code? Can we do it? I don't know, but we are about to find out. We're like right down to the finish line, almost. Let's get this done.
We're approaching Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Check out that wait time, 10 minutes. Set your timers because we're about to test it out. Power Hour, 2 houses to go.
All right, 4 minutes. We're in, we're going in. All right, 1:18 in the morning. We have almost completed this entire night without an express pass. I cannot believe we are on our way to Major Suites right now, meaning that is the 10th and final house of the night. They said it couldn't be done, but it looks like we're gonna get it done. Let's go.
I want to take a moment and say I get it. The San Francisco scare zones for over the past couple of years haven't been really getting a lot of love, but Blumhouse this year at night, I gotta say I'm a major fan. The scare actors, the costumes, and even the stands at night, how they glow up. I love everything about this zone. This is it, baby, the grand finale. We are right in front of Major Suites with a 15-minute wait. It is right now 1:22. Who knows? Maybe if we finish this house really quickly, we can maybe tackle 1 or 2 more houses. Now set your timers and let's see how fast we can go right through this house.
Last house of the night ended up being a total of 1 minute and 24 seconds. Oh my gosh, we just did all 10 houses without an express pass. I don't know if we would have been able to do this without a strategy, and I am not saying this is the best strategy, but we just did that. And even with 10 houses in under no express, yeah, baby! We have time to appreciate the scare zones. It is all about strategy when you come to Halloween Horror Nights, and we just proved it to you in our last video with Express, and in this video without Express, you can get it done.
What a day. What a night.
I have no words for today.
I feel like it's been like 48 hours. I can't
48
even count.
years in one day.
That was rough.
That was
rough. We'll start with that right off the bat.
That was something for sure.
Yeah.
But like we've mentioned before, they said we couldn't get it done. They said it was impossible. We have said that it is impossible.
Right.
And I think that we lied to ourselves because it is possible.
Right.
You just have to have a strategy.
So Operation No Express was a success
For
after all.
sure.
Because
now, well, go ahead.
we did not only have fun, I would say.
Except for the heat and during Stain Scream. That was
we
not
still
fun.
had a hell of a time. And we accomplished all 10 houses, which was our main focus today.
Yes, and we got to do it with friends at the
And
same
with
time.
friends.
So it wasn't just like us, like just powering through everything. We had some friends along the way that we got to do some houses with. So it was I would say a pretty successful, rough, but pretty successful night. Now, Juan, would you do it again?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Hell no. If you can afford an express pass, take that road.
I would say Express Pass is 100% the way to go. However, for the purpose of this video and for someone that is watching and saying, can I actually get all 10 houses done in one night? Baby, this is a Saturday. This is the busiest day of the week for HHN. So we put our limits to the ultimate test. Now, I will say, we did not get everything done. So this isn't a video that's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna accomplish absolutely everything. We didn't get to do Nightmare Fuel.
Unfortunately, we timed it wrong.
But we did it. We did it. You can do it. If your goal is 10 houses in, no express on the busiest night.
Right. We put ourselves through the ringer to prove it that it can be done.
To prove it to you and to prove it to ourselves, because I didn't think we could do it. I was literally telling Walk the entire night. I was like, we're not going to get this done. This is impossible. This is not going to happen.
She must have said it like 50 times.
Did any major house changes happen for you tonight? Because we did do, I mean, we've ran these houses a couple of times now, but this is the first night since opening night that we ran everything in one night.
Well, for starters, a lot of houses have progressed. They've added scares.
A lot of stuff.
They've added a couple of things here and there. I would say of all of the houses, the one that keeps going up on my ranks is A Quiet Place.
Really?
We keep having really good runs in that house. I keep getting every scare. There's just something about that house that I'm just loving every time I run through it. So I don't know, maybe
do you think it's still worth doing it as number one during Stain Scream?
Yes.
You gotta get that one done. Prioritize it.
And then, of course, right after that, make sure you get Insidious done, because we've seen Insidious and Quiet Place
throughout the entire night have been the highest wait times. For me, I don't think any houses have fully changed in my rank since opening night, since the last video that we did. However, I do agree with you. So much has been added with regard to little details like fog in places that maybe wasn't there opening night, or
jump
just
scares.
different jump scares. Just a very level up bonus and it's only going to get better as the season continues, as the scare actors really step into their scares.
Absolutely. They're really getting to the flow now.
And the scare zones also, they're really just knocking 100%. It out of the park. Now, when it comes to doing Halloween Horror Nights without an express pass, this was our strategy, and our strategy worked for us. However, if you have any additional tips or tricks that you want to point out, let us know in the comments below, and let everybody else know in the comments below. What are your top tips for doing Halloween Horror Nights if you don't have an express pass?
Give us your best strategy.
Now, this video was all about how to tackle Halloween Horror Nights without an express pass. If you are coming to the event with an express pass, we walk the walk and talk the talk in this video right here.
Subscribe, stay tuned for more haunts and thrills, and as always, stay spooky, boys.
There is no longer anywhere you can go. We're sinister and surreal and off-color.